It's loading up right now. All right, looks like we're good to go, guys. Let's see. So we got a question from Bill said, so I decided to challenge myself, setting up 3 FTMO accounts and just wanted to know what broker you like the best they provide. So Bill, for FTMO, I use LMAX. I think that's that's the only broker that's available to US clients. I'm not sure where you're located, but LMAX is pretty good. They're like let me see if I can pull them up. LMAX is a institutional broker. So they provide pretty good spreads, and they're all around pretty good with their data. So you can see here the spreads are super tight. They're like less than a pip for your USD. UJ is like 0.5 to 0 spread. They're pretty good. If you want to open an account with them normally without FTMO, I think it's like a 10,000 minimum, or they have different types of accounts. So if you're based in the US, this would be your only option. And they're fine. Like, they're a really good broker. The only downside is that they charge a lot of commission. Like, the commission's crazy. But I mean, that's what you'd expect trading with an institutional broker, because they provide the best execution times and the best spread. So the commissions shouldn't bother you that much if you're profitable. So you should be fine with LMAX. I don't know what other options there are, but I think if you are if you're based international, I think you have a huge list of options. But me personally, I just go with LMAX. I think they're good to go, especially if you're trading high volume. Let's see what else we got here. All right, cool. So we still got people coming in right now. If you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in the Q&A. I see a couple of things in the chat, but once we get through the stuff in the chat right now, I'm probably not going to be looking at the chat. So if you guys want to put the questions in the Q&A, we can get down to your questions. Bill said, yeah, they offered me Admiral and XM. Oh, nice. Yeah, since you're based in London, you have like a lot more options, but I would just go with LMAX. The commission does suck, but it's best to have like the tightest spreads anyways, because the better the spreads, the easier it'll be for you to get in and out of trades. So we have one question from Andrew. Said 1 week on and off. We're at. Oh, that's David's secret. Jesus Gonzalez, what do you think about KJPY? So let's check out KJPY real quick. So this is what KJPY looks like on my part. I've already drawn the zones from using the K2SRs. So I'll just put them back up there. That's what the zones look like. It's pretty messy. That's why I just, instead of drawing these little zones, I just put one big zone, because they're not spaced out very far. They're only like about 10 pips or less. So if I take off the K2SR, this is what it looks like right here. Let me see if I can spread. I'm going to spread them out a little farther because it looks like we're getting closer to the end. Put them out there, and then here, and then put this down here. All right, so let me take off the SR so it looks a little easier to look at. So it looks like KJPY is pretty much just in consolidation. It's literally just been bouncing from zone to zone. Like right here, it came straight down from up here, rejected off this lower zone, came up, tested this upper zone, came back down, and it's pretty much just been bouncing in between these zones right here. It did reject right here, so we have how many touches? We have 1. So this kind of looks like a double top right here. So it looks like it's coming down. We did get a sell signal right here. So just by looking at that here, I'll take off the pivots for now, and then we'll incorporate the pivots after. So if you're looking at just normal price action without the pivots and stuff, this is what it would look like, just normal candles. And then you can see the zones where price is rejecting from. Right here we have a sell signal. So I would anticipate this to come down to at least test this lower zone right here. So if you look over here, you can see the same thing happened here where it tested it. So you can see it tested it right here, and it tested it right here. So once it rejected off this upper zone right here, it came down, rejected off this lower zone, and then it came back up. I don't think that's going to happen exactly, but I think it'll definitely come down, at least it tests the zone. And once it tests the zone, it might reject right off, or it might break through and keep coming down. But overall, it just looks like a consolidate. You can see just by looking at it from a bird's eye view, it's literally going sideways. It's not directional like how it was moving down here to here. And then if you add the pivots into the mix, the K2 pivots, if you're not familiar with how the K2 pivots work, basically when price is above the pivots and the pivots are spread out and angling upwards like they are right here, this demonstrates a pretty strong trend upwards. And then when it's coming down and price is below the pivots and the pivots are spread out like they are like right here, that demonstrates a trend downward. So you can see right here, price was trending down or traced up, and then it came back down before it broke above right here, and it tried to establish an uptrend. But without the pivots, you can see that it was literally moving sideways. It wasn't really moving directional. So right here currently, price is above the pivots. So if it doesn't come down, because so the problem with where we are with price right now is that this is a highly manipulated area, because the thing is, a lot of people are expecting a double top here. A lot of people see this right here, this double top. So the thing is, a lot of people are expecting it to come down. Normally it should come down, and it would come down to this area. But the problem is, let's see if we can pull up sentiment. So if you guys aren't familiar with sentiment, IG sentiment. All right, so let me pull this up real quick. KJPY. There we go. So if you look at sentiment right here, you can see that depending on where people are in the market, so if there's more people short, then in this area right here, if more people are short, the banks aren't going to make it easy for people to just take a short and make money off this move down. Generally what they would do is if there's more people short, they would just shoot it up so they can stop people out, probably test it for a third try right here to stop people out, and then they'll drop it back down to where it's supposed to go. But right now, if you look at sentiment, there's 55% people long, so it's still down the middle. So it's kind of hard to determine where it might move. It seems like it might move sideways until more people either go long until it moves up to 60%, or if it swings back down. So if it swings up to 65%, like 60 to 70%, then we could probably see this come shooting down, because then it'll stop everyone that's anticipating a buy. So like it's kind of hard to tell right now the direction it'll go at, because it's not in a strong uptrend or in a strong downtrend. It's just moving sideways. And this is why a lot of people avoid markets when a specific asset is moving sideways, because the thing is, generally when it's consolidating like it is right here, let me see if I can find another example. So if price is consolidating sideways like that, like you can see right here, price was consolidating for a long time. This is a huge zone here, but it's the same situation that's happening here. It was basically consolidating within, like these two areas right here, probably even bigger, like within these areas. And after it's done consolidating, it usually breaks out in a direction. So that's kind of similar to what's happening here. Price is in consolidation. So the market makers and institutions are determining whether there's more people long or more people short. So if there's more people short, what usually happens is that price is going to shoot in the opposite direction. So if there's more people short, they'll shoot it up. If there's more people long, they'll shoot it down. There's really no direction right now for CAD-JPY. So if you want to enter a sell from where current price is to the next zone is about 30 pips. So if you do want to enter a sell, I would put a sell stop right here, like where the signal showed up. I'd put a sell stop right over here, and that would be about we could just round that off to 79.35. So I'll just so you can put a sell stop right there at that price. So in this situation right here, although price is going upwards, as it comes back down, if it does, it'll fill your sell stop order, and then you can write it down to the zone right here. So you could probably write this down for like about 30 pips until it hits this next zone. You see, yeah, about 30 pips. Because the thing is, once it reaches that bottom zone, it'll probably reject. And that's something that you don't want to get caught in. You want to lock in your profits. So the reason why I would put a sell stop there is because you don't want to enter this area here. Because the thing is, if you enter where it currently is, then price might spike up or shoot up, and then you'll be in the negative. The good thing about putting a sell stop right here is that is that once price comes down, it'll automatically fill your order, and then you can pretty much write it down to the next zone. Because you can see here that price normally moves from zone to zone. Like price came from this zone, it tested the lower end, came up again, came back down, tested again, came up, came down here, tested, and it pretty much just tests like zones from zones. Jesus said, never heard of sentiment. Thank you for your analysis. I'm actually already in a sell at the top of the, oh, nice. So you actually got up way up here. So it looks like you try to enter the double top right here. I'm sure you probably spotted this, and then you had a sell limit or something up here, and then you wrote it down. So I would probably, so if you entered up here, you probably locked in some pretty decent profits. You probably locked in about 20, 25 profits. I'd recommend moving your stop loss and profit just in case. Because the thing is, if price shoots up, you know you're gonna get back to the negative. But if you move your stop loss and profit, you could at least catch some profits. And then, sorry, let me drink some water. Yeah, if you move your stop loss and profit, then at least you can, if it does swing up, you could get stopped out in profits. You don't lose anything, and then you can always re-enter. But the thing is, if you leave your stop loss, you know, somewhere pretty far off, and then this shoots up like crazy, then you're going to be pretty deep in the negative, and you're going to hate that. But it does look like it should come down. You know, generally, if you're familiar with the K2 strategies, the way that we trade, well, I personally use the K2 zone strategy. And pretty much the way that that works is whenever we get a sell signal or a buy signal, I usually try to catch it to the next zone. So right here, I would have entered a sell and then wrote it down to this zone. And then if we had a buy right here, I'd take a buy right here and then write it to this zone. And you can see that price generally moves from zone to zone. Like right here is a sell, it goes down to this zone. The buy right here went up to this zone, sell right here, down to this zone. Buy right here, came up here, tested this area, came down. So right here, I anticipate it to come down. But the only problem is, like I mentioned earlier, since it was a double top right here, you know, a lot of people are looking at the same thing you're looking at, and everyone's anticipating it to come down. So the thing is, you don't want to trade what everyone else is doing because the institutions and market makers know that. So obviously they're going to trade against you, and you kind of don't want to be in that area. You kind of want to trade out in the open where, you know, market's not being manipulated. But, you know, looking back at the sentiment, what you can do is you can just Google CAD/JPY IG sentiment, and then it'll tell you here where people are trading. And, you know, obviously you don't want to be where the majority of people are, because majority of people fail at trading because the institutions and market makers trade the opposite direction because they know where everyone's trading. And, you know, they'll give you like a little gimme and make it seem like like you're winning a little bit. Like right here, there's a lot of people long because they're trying to trade against the double top thing right here because they're trying to trick, you know, they're trying to do the opposite. Same thing that we're doing, but instead of just hopping at these areas, we're waiting for it to get outside of these manipulated areas. Like generally, we don't trade where there's common areas of entry. Like we don't trade support resistance. We don't trade, you know, double tops or patterns because that's what everyone else is trading. What we're doing is we're waiting for price to go out of those areas. Like, here, I'll show you another example. So an example of something of like where we did that was somewhere like right here. So, or no, not right here. Aaron, do you know any actually odd CAD?
Yeah, exactly. AUD CAD.
Oh, like, yeah, AUD CAD. So see right here, right here, a lot of people would probably take a like a buy down here or a sell right here actually. So right here, you can see there's a double top. So a lot of people were obviously looking for, I'll just take these off the chart. You know, a normal trader would be looking for, you know, areas where it rejects from. So this is a common thing. Like people see these double tops and then they try to take a sell. And then they see another double top, they take a sell. They see another double top, they take a sell, and they get screwed. It shoots the opposite direction. That's generally not where we want to trade. We want to trade where people aren't specifically looking. So like right here, we took this entry here because it was in the middle of the zone. So when it's within a zone, price usually moves from zone to zone. But a lot of people try to catch tops and bottoms. They try to catch, like when price comes up here, they try to take the sell, or if price comes up and then retraces down here, they try to take a buy. But we try to enter where people aren't trading so that we can ride it from the middle of the zone to the next zone. Because the last thing you want to do is get caught in the wrong direction. So that goes back to KJPY over here. Let me just turn everything back on. But yeah, so right here, like this would be a good entry, but we'd probably wait for this to break the zone, like break below here, and then catch it as it moves farther down. But that's just the way that we trade. I mean, there's nothing wrong with catching tops and bottoms, but I mean, if you look back at data, it doesn't really, you'll see that people are less successful than you think trading, patterns and trading tops and bottoms. You kind of have to trade differently from what everyone else is doing, to be successful long term, because you're just going to keep getting caught in traps. But yeah, let me keep going through the questions. All right, Jesus. If you need me to go any further with KJPY, let me know. But I think that there isn't really much to look at right now because it's moving sideways. So it's kind of hard for you to really determine the direction of price. But I think you should be good. If you entered above the zone, I think you should be fine. But I think you should probably move your stop loss in profit at least. So if it does reverse, you'll get stopped out in profit, but then you can always re-enter as it comes back down. So you can move it in profit, but then if it shoots up, you can just put another sell stop and then catch it back from where you re-entered earlier. That way, it's a win-win for you. And then you don't leave yourself too exposed in the market. All right, so we have, sure, no problem, Jesus. Let's see. Let me just keep going down the questions here real quick. Can we take a look at NAS 100 and see what would be the best times to enter during? So for NASDAQ, let me see. I think the best time to enter. So generally, I like to enter off the 10-minute. So I got the 10-minute right here, and then we got the NASDAQ. Kevin said, Shawn, did I miss the US 30 analysis? Not yet. So we'll get to that in a little bit. I'm still getting through the questions, so I'll get through to you in a little bit. Crunk Taz asking, how do you read NAS 100 and understanding a new institutional candle? Crunk, what do you mean by understanding the institutional candle? I know there's a lot of people that talk about institutional trading, but I know everyone's kind of different. The thing with institutional trading is that I don't trade it, so I can't really explain institutional trading. But if you can describe, what you mean about institutional candle, I can probably know what you're talking about. But it's really hard for someone to trade institutional trading. Like a lot of people say they trade institutional trading, but it's not really, possible unless you have the tools or you know how to read tape. Price action isn't institutional trading. You're just trading off supply and demand. Let's see. Kronk Taz said, like the long candle that takes out the stop losses. I don't think that would be considered an institutional candle. I think that would just be called like a stop loss hunt or manipulation in the market, like this right here. So like similar to right here. Sorry, I just never heard that term before, institutional candle. Like pretty much right here, there's clearly an uptrend, and then price just spiked down to stop everyone out. It was like a stop loss hunt, and then it shot it back up where it was supposed to go. But that happens a lot. Like it happened today for US 30. We were in US 30 today for a buy, and then we kind of got fucked right here because we were in profit. We entered right, where did we enter? We entered like right here. So we were in profit pretty decent. Let me just back up. Hey Aaron, is this the entry we took? Yeah, it was. 21st. So we were in this trade this morning. And it was actually moving pretty fine. Like I thought we were cool. So we were in this trade, it was moving sideways, and then randomly, like at wait on here. So it was pretty much just going sideways, and it looked fine. Like it came down, rejected, came down, rejected, and then generally it'll just keep pushing up. But I think around 11, it's not here yet. So it literally went sideways for a bit, and it looked like it was going to keep going up, right? So if you were analyzing this normally, it looked like a clean push up. But unfortunately, like around 11, it just ended up shooting down like super hard right here. And then this is kind of similar to what you were mentioning earlier, the institutional candle. It was a huge spike down. You can tell that this was manipulation, or this too right here, because you can see that, well, this whole area here. So when we first got in the trade, we're like, okay, price is moving normally. And then normally it'll just keep moving smoothly, like how it does over here, smooth movements. But then right here, it was literally spiking up, spiking down like 500 pips. So it spiked up right here from entry, about 500 pips. And then from there, it spiked down from up here, like 1,000 pips, like, that's not normal. And then it spiked back up again, another 1,300 pips. And then we thought it was going to start moving normally and just keep moving up. But right here, it just spiked down like crazy. So from this area right here, from 12 p.m. till like in about an hour, it spiked down 2,000 pips. And then it literally spiked down and then it came back up. There isn't really a way to like understand like why that happens. That kind of just happens randomly. Like it's not something that you can avoid. You can't predict that, the institutions and market makers are going to be spiking price. I don't even know if there was news during that time. Let me see if there was news. So there was no news this morning. I mean, there was news at 5:30 for CAD, but that was way after, the movement started happening way after that. And then just looking here, we were looking at this where they had, the stimulus stuff, but it was good news. Like it was news that was supposed to help the market with them voting on the stimulus stuff. But I think that's about it. I don't really see anything else here that could have spiked price like that, because everything would have moved from here. Let's see. Is there anyone else in here that knows anything about news that happened today? Because I don't remember seeing any news today. But this was pretty much all that we saw that I saw that could have affected the market. That there was going to be a stimulus deal coming out, by the end of the next week. But if that was true, then this should have been bullish because it was good news. But just the way the market's been moving during COVID and just throughout this whole season through summer, price doesn't normally respect technicals at all. Like right here, just shot straight down for 2,000 pips. But yeah, just looking at these spikes and candles right here, like where they just stop people out. Like right here, we wouldn't have gone stopped out if it didn't spike down like that. I forgot who showed me their chart. Let me see if I can pull it up. Let's see. I know someone sent a chart earlier. Do you remember who sent that chart, Aaron?
Which one?
Someone sent a chart for US 30 in the chat, but I can't see. Kevin said apparently Trump said in his speech that COVID's going to get worse, a lot worse, before it gets better. I don't know if that affects it, but yeah, but that was aftermarket. Hey Kevin, did he say that after afternoon? Or because if he said it after, then this obviously wasn't affected by it. I'm not sure when he said that, but I'm just trying to figure. Oh yeah, after hours. Okay, so he said it way after. So he said that after it already happened. So yeah, obviously that didn't affect it, but right after market close. So he said it somewhere around here. So that's like that's unusual because, well, I mean, it's not unusual because the market's been moving weird, but if he said that, price should have kept coming down, but you can see right here price actually went upwards. I mean, I don't know, you can't really anticipate market manipulation, like these crazy movements. The only way you can anticipate it is if there's planned news. So if there's news, if you look at Forex Factory, that's where we look at our economic news. So if you look here, you can determine when price is likely to be, spiking around or something weird happening in the market. because generally when news is released that could affect the stock market, you know, it's just a good sign to stay out of the market. That's why we don't trade news. But today there just wasn't news today. It was just a weird movement. So when there's no news, then it's hard for you to determine if there's going to be, you know, weird spikes in price. But this doesn't cover everything. You know, also, this is a different year. Normally, when there's stuff going on or there's news, it'll be planned. But since we're in COVID, there's like COVID news that comes out like randomly throughout the day. So I'm not sure if there was COVID news today, if anyone saw anything, aside from what Kevin saw with Trump. But I mean, anything Trump says affects the market. So that could have affected it if that happened before, but Kevin said that it happened after. So I'm not too familiar with whatever caused the spike down here. But I mean, it does suck because we could have been in the trade if this spike down here didn't happen. But unfortunately, we got stopped out. Oh, you know what? I think it was from CT. Yeah, no, CT had his own trade too. So let me just like, so CT had his own US 30 entry, and he was in the same situation right here. He actually got lucky because he didn't get stopped out. He's back in profit. But you can see right here, you know, obviously it was clearly on a stop loss hunt for people. Unfortunately, we got caught in it, but it happens, and you know we can't do anything about it. You know, we just learn from it and you know try to avoid it next time. But this is CT's position for US 30. We entered a little higher up here, but he was down here and he's still in the trade. So lucky for him, he had a stop loss a little farther down. Yeah, let's keep going through the questions. Or actually, sorry, we didn't even get through Mimi's questions. So Mimi, want us to look at NASDAQ real quick. So yeah, Mimi was asking if we can look at NASDAQ to see, you know, the best time for New York session to enter a trade. Personally, I think it's the best time is right after London Open, so midnight my time. I don't know what time London Open is for everyone else because everyone is located in different areas. But let me see. Where's NASDAQ? Oh, there we go. Okay, so NASDAQ is right here. Like I mentioned, I think midnight is probably the best time. So you can see right here, this is midnight, this is London Open. And generally what we do is we take the first K2 signal as soon as the market opens. So right here was midnight. The first signal was here, obviously. You could have entered right here. Place your stop loss at the previous swing up here. It's about 640. Let's round off a little bit. So right there, that would have been a win if you took that London Open yesterday or today, I guess, this morning. So London Open right here, that would have been a winner. Again, over here at midnight, same situation right here, midnight. There we go. So London Open right here, the first buy signal right here. If you took that buy signal, I don't trade NASDAQ, so I don't know what's a good range for your stop loss. But if you just trail this up, I know a lot of you guys are familiar with one of the exit strategies that I do use where I just trail it with your stop loss. Like you trail your stop loss along the pivots, but you might have gotten stopped out right here because you can see this huge spike right here. It went for a little spike to stop people out before shooting back up. You can see right here, obviously, manipulation. This is what I mean by manipulation because it's a nice push up. And then you can see here that the candles are moving like 100 to 200 pips per candle. And then you just get this random candle right here and it spikes nearly 1,000 pips. It's not a normal movement. So if you took this trade right here after midnight, once London Open, it'd be a straight winner. Similar with this one over here, straight winner again. So let's go back another day. One more day. I'm actually doing a back test on this guy. So once I'm done, I'll share that with you guys, but I'm not exactly done yet. So right here again, midnight, first entry right here for the K2 buy signal. If you took that, you would have won again right there, 325 pips. The only hard part about doing this is you have to know where to put your stop loss. I usually put it at the previous swing So the previous swing probably would have been somewhere right here. This swing would be too close, and I'm not familiar with how many pips are worth what. So I only trade US 30, so I can't really determine if this was a big stop loss or not. It looks like it was fine. But okay, we'll go back to another one over here. Same situation here. Take the first trade after midnight. So right here's midnight, London open. Take the first K2 signal right here. If you enter this trade, there you go, another winner, 400 pips. Let's go back one more day. Yeah, Marcus has been giving out these calls, and it's made me want to stay up for London session so I could take these trades. I might do it a couple of days just to test it out. Again, right here, this is midnight, first buy signal right there, another winner of 500 pips. So it's really easy. That's like 5 back-to-back wins right there. Just look for one more. Again, right here, you wouldn't have taken this because it's an invalid sell. So 14th. I wonder if there was news on that day. So you also have to factor in news too, because if there's something going on in the market, like I mentioned, we don't trade news because it could spike price like crazy. So it looks like there was news at 11:30 for Japan. Oh, actually, there was OPEC. So on the 14th. So right here, this would have been no, it might have been a win. Let me see. No, so this would have been a loss, but the reason it was a loss was because the OPEC meeting was going on all day. So you would have just not traded London that day because you would have gone screwed. So, the only loss here would have been because based on news. But if you look at the other entries over here, so the 14th, this was a news day, so we wouldn't have traded that. But the 15th, winner for 500 pips. Right here on the 16th, another winner for 400 pips. Right here on the 17th, another winner for 300 pips. Again, right here on the 20th, another winner for 1,000 pips. And then again today, another winner for 640 pips. So if you guys have access to the K2 strategies, then and the K2 indicators, you guys can apply this on your own. That's pretty much what a lot of other people are doing. Personally, I might just stay up late and start trading London with you guys. Crunkaz asking what's your time zone? My time zone is Pacific Daylight Savings Time. I'm located in California, so that's the time that that my charts run by. So I'm not sure what your what London Open would be for you, but that'd be midnight for me. I'm sure you're probably aware, when London Open is for you as well. Let's see. But yeah, Mims. So it looks like the best time for London is going to be after midnight, midnight my time. So I don't know what time would that be for you, but basically whenever the London market opens. So right after the London market opens, you can look for the first K2 signal that's fire that can give you a good entry. It looks like it's pretty accurate, so it's something that I might look into myself. I am testing it for US 30, but I might look into these other assets as well. Yeah, maybe look for another one right here. So again, right here, look for midnight. This is midnight. We don't count the midnight candle, so this candle right here, we ignore it, and then we take the first K2 signal following London Open. So right here it was midnight. Right here's the first K2 signal, and there you go, another win for about 1,000 pips. So literally it was like nonstop wins for NASDAQ. It's pretty good. Yeah, it makes me want to trade NASDAQ now because US 30 has just been all over the place lately. But yeah, let me keep going down. Kevin said no news like all week. I think there's a lot of news this week though, Kevin. Let me see. So if I go to calendar, I mean, there's a lot of news. So tomorrow there's Canadian news and US news. So tomorrow we're probably not going to trade US 30, unless it comes up like way after 7:30. or if price isn't. See, so the problem with this is we've tried to trade US 30 after news where there was no crazy movement, but sometimes the crazy spikes in price and the crazy volatility is delayed. So I think there was a trade that we took, I think last Friday or sometime last week, where news was like at 7:30, but then like at 11:30, price spiked like crazy. It was like a delayed reaction to the news, because there was nothing else that affected it. So tomorrow I'm not gonna take the US 30 trade. I'll probably give you guys like an unofficial call, but I'm probably not gonna take it myself because it's just too risky. It looks like there's news this entire week actually, Kevin. I don't know if you looked at Forex Factory, but so tomorrow there's US news. It's pretty strong. Crude oil inventories, and then on Thursday there's news. This is like heavy news. I wouldn't even trade this because this is what's called unemployment claims. So this is for sure going to affect US 30 at 5:30, and then we have the leading index and retail sales. So I wouldn't. I'm probably done for the week for US 30. Yeah, CAD does. I mean, CAD's it's a big it's a major country that here. Let me see if I can share an example because it actually happened recently. So let's see. So right here on the 15th, 7 a.m. Yeah, just because it's not US news, that doesn't mean that it doesn't affect the US market. It affects it a lot actually, depending on, if it, because Euro news has a lot of stuff. They're just all pretty much connected. It's just because it's not US news doesn't mean that it doesn't affect the US market. Or similar with the Euro markets or the GBP markets or the Australian markets. If it's a major currency that, see like right here at 7 o'clock, 7:30, the Canadian news came out right here. See around this time, and then there's a huge spike in price. That was like 3,000 pips. So there's I mean, it's not clear that if it'll affect it or not, but obviously here you can see it's really clear that it affected it. So 80 new. Kevin said, so CAD news is bad, Dow Jones down. Not necessarily, because so here's the thing with news. The price doesn't normally move the way that you want it to. So like I mentioned today, there was good COVID news, but then price came down like crazy. The thing is, you have to wait to see how retail traders or how the institutions react to the news. Like, even though it's good news, doesn't mean that price is going to go up. Prices go the opposite direction. So that's like one of the main reasons why I don't trade news, because the thing is, no matter how good the news is, it can still come down pretty heavy, because if the news is clearly good, like I think like NFP, when was NFP? I think NFP last month or the month before, it was obviously going to be bad because COVID was like at an all-time high and everyone was unemployed. So you were expecting, US 30 or whatever to come down. But the thing is, the news was horrible, but US 30 shot up like crazy. So I wouldn't depend, or I wouldn't predict like how movement's going to happen versus like with regard to news, because it doesn't really matter what you think. It matters how the institutions and the market makers are going to react to it. Because if everyone's going to sell, they're not going to make it so easy for everyone to make money selling because the news is bad, and obviously you'd expect it to go down. They're going to spike price the opposite direction, and then they're going to bring it down like pretty heavy. So that's like one reason why I don't trade news, and one reason why I don't recommend anyone else to trade news either. It's kind of better to stay away from the market when it's highly manipulated. But yeah, Kevin, I'm not a fundamental trader, so I can't really tell you how it reacts to everything. But from my own experience from trading for so long, the news doesn't always play out the way that you think it would. So you might want to do a little more research on it, but personally, I would just stay away from the market during heavy news. So this whole week, let's see. This whole week there's heavy news. There's news tomorrow for CAD and USD. There's news on Thursday for CAD and USD. There's news on Friday for USD. So I'm not going to be trading US 30 on any of these days, because no matter how good the news is, it could still go the opposite direction. So, you know, you don't want to get caught in a trade. Like if the news is good and then, so this is what happens. Let me show you. So I'm trying to figure out where there was some good news. So just say, for example, here. So say there was good US news, right? There's good US news and it pushes up. It tries to lure people in. So everyone's buying because everyone thinks it's going to keep shooting up. But then what happens is once they have enough buyers here, they just dump price down to stop everyone out. So that's why I don't trade news, because you never know how price is going to move. Let me see, if we rewind this to this area here, it looks like a clear nice shot up, right? So if you just look at that from there, it looks like, okay, price is going to shoot up. It looks good. But then look what happens. You're going to get suckered into that. Well, your stop loss is probably going to be wider than that. It's not going to be 500 pips. It's going to be like 1,500. So if you go back to here, and then you see that, you're obviously going to buy, because you can see, you know, the trend is shifting and you're looking for a buy here. But look what happens. It ends up shooting down and stops you out. Kind of what happened today, and this is why I don't trade news. It's just hard to tell here because it doesn't have the news on the bottom, but I'm sure that this was a news driven event here. So this was on the 16th. It was either like news driven or there was something that was going on. So like right here, clearly there's heavy news, 5:30. But this trade came at 7. See, this is what I mean too, because right here, so the news happened at 5:30. So at 5:30 right here, this was the reaction from the news. So this is how you get screwed, bro. Because look, the news happened at 5:30 right here. So this is why price dropped down. So when price drops down, people FOMO in. They're like, oh crap, news is bad. Let me take a sell. What happens is the institutions and market makers push price up. So then everyone that took a sell gets stopped out. And then everyone that tries to FOMO into this buy right here gets stopped out when it gets pushed in the opposite direction. It's all pretty much, it's all psychological. And this is why I don't trade during news, because you never know the actual direction of price. You could get screwed both ways. Like right here, you could have taken the sell because you would have FOMO'd into this based on the news, and you would have gone stopped out this way. And then right here, you would have jumped back in and FOMO'd in upwards because you're like, okay, cool. You know, this is the real direction of price. And then what happens here, you get stopped out in the other direction. So you would have gone stopped out 3 times. So this is why I don't recommend trading during news. You're pretty much gambling because there's no way to really predict it and determine, you know, the direction of price. But if you trade right here where there's no news, so let me go to a day where there's, so there was news on the 14th, there's news on the 16th. I'm trying to find a day where there was no news so that you can see like the difference between how it's smooth and then when it's not. There was actually a lot of news this whole month. So you can see here from June, there was US news every single day. July, there was heavy news every single day too. So I think the only time when there wasn't news was, dude, we had news every single day for the past month. I mean, it's surprising that we were still profitable for the month of June and month of July, because there was news literally every day. Yes, this isn't as easy as I thought it would be. Okay, so June 2nd. So let me go to June 2nd, and then I'll just show you how it looks. All right, so June 2nd's right here. You can see that price is moving smoothly. There's no weird movements. So wait, what day was June 2nd? It's weird, did the market like stop? Okay, so June 2nd was right here. All right, this is gonna be a hard example because you're not gonna find smooth markets during COVID. So I don't even know what happened here. It looks like so at 7. Aaron, do you know if anything happened on June 2nd?
I don't think so.
Yeah, because there's no news here, but there's like weird movement there. I don't know if there was COVID news that was released or something, but this is a crazy movement.
How long was the candle?
Shit, bro, like, so like in an hour, it moved like 4,000 pips.
Oh yeah, that was a crazy spike.
Yeah,
I don't know.
honestly, yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to pull up
Weird.
the, so I'm looking back in the chat. I'm gonna see if we took the trade that day.
I mean,
Let me see.
Trump was probably speaking or something. I don't know. Mike Epps.
Mike Epps, man, that dude's funny. Let's see, June. We get an alert for US
Oh, it's
30.
almost 6 o'clock, bro. I just
Oh yeah,
forgot
okay.
about that.
Yeah, sorry guys, I gotta take. I'm gonna. Doesn't look like we took a US 30 trade that day. Oh no, we did. And it hit TP. I don't know what happened that day, but we did take a trade that day. Yeah, that's weird. Yeah, we took the sell. Even though it was a huge candle, we still took it on the second. Yeah, honestly, I don't know. It's hard to explain how news works because there was no news on that day, but this spiked down like 4,000 pips. Kevin said, I was shorting it before I got out. Nice, man. Yeah, sometimes you get lucky, like you trade news and then you just catch it in the proper direction wherever it spikes. But yeah, normally, price normally moves smoothly, like how it does right here, smoothly down, smoothly down, smoothly up. But these weird spikes in price, it's hard to explain what caused them if there isn't any news that's scheduled. The problem with the other news is that there's other small news events that happen throughout the day that we're not really following. So, or I'm more following during that time, but I don't remember from the back of my head if something happened on June 2nd that caused this crazy dump. But yeah, guys, we got 3 minutes before the candle closes, so I'm gonna look for trades real quick. If you guys have any other questions, just put them in the Q&A, and I'm gonna get down to the rest of the questions soon. But I'm just gonna go and scan for trades right now. Let's see, we still have our odd CAD active right now. I'm not sure if you guys still have this trade active. It hit TP1 and TP2, but it's still on its way to full TP for 52 pips up here. I personally got out already. Once it got to TP2, I moved my stop loss to TP2, and then I got stopped out somewhere in the middle for about, I think it was like 26 pips. So I got stopped out over here. Yeah, like not that bad. Like I probably could have made more pips up there, but I moved my stop loss to here once price got up there, and then I got stopped out, which is fine. So I made profit off that. If you guys are still in this trade, it's still moving up, so you guys still have a chance to hit full TP. Similar with odd CHF, I'm still in this trade. So TP1 is a little bit above. Looks like it got really close to TP1, but didn't trigger it. So let me see. It was like about 8 pips from TP1, but it's still looking good. I wouldn't worry about it too much. It's just moving sideways right now because we're in an Asia session. On JPY, Aaron, what? Oh, we didn't call. Wait, did we call this? Aaron, this hit TP earlier, right?
Yeah, hit 4 TP.
Yeah, so we had this trade earlier. This was using the K2SR strategy. Right? So pretty much we caught it as it broke the zone right here, and we had the green momentum, so we rode this up. I was thinking about making a second entry somewhere up here, but I was anticipating it to probably come down because it's pretty overextended, and then we're getting some wicks right here. So if we're getting some wicks, and then we get a sell signal, like a sell momentum signal, I would anticipate it to come down and retest the zone, or one of the pivots before shooting back upwards. Odd NZD, nothing there. Reason for that is because it's just stuck within the zone right here. This could have been a decent entry right here if we entered right here and then rode it to the zone up here, but it was only 20 pips, which is why we didn't take it, because it's just too risky to be calling a trade like that. Aaron, do we have an odd USD? Oh, that hit TP2, right?
Yeah, I think
Odd USD hit 4 TP.
Yeah,
We
so
didn't call that one.
this hit full TP. We entered down here actually. So our
Yeah, I don't
previous
think we called
trade
this. The last one, we didn't call that one. As it broke the resistance, we didn't call that one.
yeah, should have would have been good. The reason why I didn't call that is because I thought it was gonna come back down because it's been overextended already. Looks like it's coming back down right now. KED CHF. No, it's too close, 20 pips. KED JPY. This is what we were looking at earlier. What do you think about this, Aaron, for a late entry?
I'll pass on this one.
Yeah, because the pivots are angling up, so it might continue upwards. So I keep off that. What about CJ?
CJ.
Chef JPY.
I mean, it did technically break the resistance, but
Yeah,
I'm not feeling that candle.
Yeah, it's right here. There's another resistance.
Yeah, pass on it.
Pass on that. So the reason we're not taking this trade, guys, is because there's a resistance right here, which it already tested. So the problem with that is since it tested that resistance, the thing is price might come down from here and then come on down. Kind of similar to what happened right here. It's, you know, as people like look at charts, they can see that history usually repeats itself. Right here, it rejected, came down pretty far, came up again right here, rejected off this point, came down pretty far, and then it rejected again right here. So that's a triple top. You know, like I mentioned before, I don't like to trade those patterns because this is breeding ground for manipulation. The thing is, you're basically, if you're taking a trade right here, you're betting that price is going to go in one way or the other. So the thing is, if there's a lot of sellers, because a lot of people are trying to sell right here, you know, the market makers might give you a little gimme. They might push price down a little bit to like right here, and then you'll be all happy like, oh, cool, you know, I'm in profit. But then when you least expect it, it's just going to shoot up like crazy and then stop everyone out. So that's why I'm not looking to enter this trade right here. What I would wait for is I would wait for price, like a bullish candle, to close above this zone, or I'd catch it as it shoots back up. So that, like what I just mentioned right now, is what I'm anticipating. I'm anticipating price to come down a little bit to lure in the sellers. And then once they have enough sellers, they're just going to stop everyone out. And then once price gets up here, then I would enter a buy up here. You know, it's all psychology. It's literally trade psychology, guys. Like that's like once you can understand how all the other traders are thinking, and you're able to do the opposite. That's how you'll be able to, you know, be successful. And the thing is, when you're entering a trade, you have to analyze it from both sides. Like a lot of people, when they see triple tops, like it is right here, a lot of people are only analyzing this as a sell. But the thing is, you have to analyze it from the other side. You're gonna have to analyze it like, okay, so if I take a sell, what's worse that can happen? And this is the worst that could happen. It could come down a little bit, maybe test this area, or just test this area down here, or even down here. And then what happens, it'll probably shoot back up. So you have to, you know, test your probability by looking at different scenarios of what could happen. CT said possibly pivot US 30, ran some stops, buy consolidation, could get a buy stick soon. Yeah, so CT is looking at US 30. I'm going to take a look at that too after we're done looking at the FX pairs. Kevin said this man waits to short the squeeze. I don't know, honestly. Well, with Wade, he's good at like analyzing the chart through fundamentals. He actually looks at the data and stuff and the news and stuff that's going on. So he kind of has an upper hand in that aspect because price isn't really respecting not fundamentals. It's not respecting technicals right now. I mean, it still does a little bit, but you can see price, it'll go for stop loss hunts. Like right here, this is what I mentioned again earlier. Like a lot of people, as this was going up right here, people are anticipating, you know, double top, and people are trying to sell, but then they spike price up right here. Let's see how many pips. Price was spiked up about 26 pips, and then price stopped people out. And this is why I don't use like the whole 1-to-3 ratio. So like a lot of people will enter a sell right here, and then they'll have their stop loss like right here. They're like, oh yeah, we'll keep it close. And then they'll have their TP like that. So if you do that, you end up getting stopped out and it ends up dropping super far down. That's why I trade with a 1-to-1 risk reward ratio, because in that situation, I wouldn't have gotten stopped out. And then I could just move my stop loss and profit when I can, as it moves down. So there's nothing here. I was looking at this trade earlier with Aaron, but I mean, good thing we didn't take it, because obviously price for trade is pretty heavy right here. And the analysis that I mentioned with the double tops, it goes both ways. So similar to right here, you know, some people are anticipating a double top and some people are anticipating a break above, a break and retest. So right here, price broke. Some people probably would have bought right here because they would have thought that, you know, price was going to skyrocket. Similar to down here. So people are probably anticipating a quadruple bottom, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 5. So right here, a lot of people are anticipating maybe it was going to reject off this support and then shoot up. But then once it broke down here, people are anticipating that price was going to keep coming down. The problem with that is that a lot of people got tricked, because a lot of people probably entered a sell here, like what I was waiting for, and then would have ended up getting screwed because price would have, you know, reversed from where you thought the entry was supposed to be. So Euro odd, nothing there. Euro CAD. Aaron, what do you think about Euro CAD?
You see,
Actually, never mind. There's a resistance right here.
Oh, there's no bueno.
Nope. Yeah, if you guys have access to the K2SR, you know, this is a huge help, because like right here, I was about to enter this trade, but the thing with this is price, if price does continue up, it's probably going to test this area. And then like I mentioned before, you know, it's a triple, quadruple top right there, and it might reject down or it might shoot up. It just really depends. Your CHF, no entry there. Your GBP, nothing there. Here, and this EJ looks good, but the only problem is that it'd be a late entry. Yeah.
Yeah, EJ is. Yeah, the euro pair's been bullish for some reason, bro.
Right?
I think it has something to do with a stimulus bill too.
Oh, because they agreed on something in the euro too. I think they have some type of stimulus bill for themselves as well. But yeah, look, it was like all the euro pairs, they all like fake people out. Like right here too, came down. So this looks like it would have been a nice sell, because if you look at it from a bird's eye view, this was in a strong downtrend. Like it was literally establishing lower lows back to back to back to back. But then right here, it looks like it hit a strong resistance. I don't know. We'll have to see how this plays out, but I'm not going to take that. And EU would have been a nice. We didn't take an EU this week, huh?
EU, yeah. Hit 4 TP.
Oh, yours, yeah, yours, the one that you called.
You know me.
And called one. Was it that one right there? I think it was, right? Or no, you called it. Was a pivot entry, right?
it was from the 1 hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, I almost hit stop loss.
Yeah, the euro pairs were playing for a while.
Hell yeah.
Man,
yeah. Excuse my language.
All right, GA. What do you think of GA for a late sell?
Yeah, I was looking at that one too. Let's see. And AD has been a little bit bullish too. And what's the risk for that one?
Let's see. It's pretty big, bro. It's 160, 168. That's not even the full risk. The full risk should be up here. It's 200 pips, 205. That's way too much.
Yeah, I can hear. You already know how the chat gonna be, man.
Yeah, Aaron's already ready for people complaining. Man, this has been a nice sell right here. And if you took this pivot entry right here, it came down, retraced, and then another drop, that'd be real nice.
It's been moving down for a long time.
It has. But yeah, this is too risky of an entry. I mean, we could probably drop it as an unofficial call, but I don't want it. All right, so it's that GCAD, nothing there. GCHF, nothing there. GJ, nothing there because it's in the zone. Take out the SRs. So a lot of these trades, I'm not taking them because when they're inside a zone like it is right here, the problem with that is price is going to be like rejecting back and forth within the zone before it breaks out in either one of the directions, either up or either down. So that's why I would prefer to just wait for a price to break above it or below it so that we can take an entry. But right here, it's above the pivot, so it looks like it's heading bullish. So hopefully if it breaks above here, I can take a long position right there. GN, you can see right here it's in consolidation. Like I mentioned before, price moves from zone to zone. So price moves from lower zone to upper zone, lower zone, breaks below, corrects back up, and then back into consolidation. GU. So GU looks all right. And we don't have this, right? It's not active trade.
Nope.
And that would have been a good one too.
Hell yeah. Let's see.
Yeah. NZD CAD. Let's see. What do you think about NZD CAD for a buy?
For a buy stop,
I don't know. It looks kind of
I
off.
don't know about that one either.
Yeah, it's kind of similar with like GC earlier. GC looks so good when it's well. Oh no, it's at resistance. That's why. That makes sense, Aaron. All right, so there is NZD CAD. All right, cool. Yeah, it's stuck within a zone. Like I mentioned earlier, price, you can see that it clearly moves from zone to zone. So if I just take off the SRs, price came up, broke the zone, came down. It literally just bounces from zone to zone. So the thing is, when price is not consolidating like it is here, it's easier for us to enter trades that aren't just going to get stuck. All the NZD pairs are pretty slow. Yeah, I don't really see anything here that's worth taking. Yeah. Yeah, what do you think about UJ? Probably the last one.
UJ,
Yeah, CAD CHF. This is a huge drop. I don't think I'd take this because
I
it
had
looks.
seen that one too.
Yeah, that drop. How many pips?
See, about like
Shit, that's 60, 70 pips, bro. That's a lot of pips.
say UJ. It seems like everything is like super close to the zone.
Yeah, or it's kind of like a weird
It's a
spike.
break, but it's like barely breaking the zone and stuff like that. So, oh, it's kind of hard to determine this one, or most of them actually.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I have to pass on this one too.
Yeah, guys, it doesn't look like there's any entries. I haven't marked anything, so I don't think I saw anything good. Even odd CAD looks like it's coming down. So good thing we're not taking any Australian pairs because it looks like they're, in the direction of reversing. But yeah, I think that's about it, guys. So no entries for the 6 p.m. candle. We'll take a look again at 10 to see if there's anything else that came up. I don't think there's news today. Actually, there's news at 6:30 for Australia. So maybe a good thing that we're not taking any trades right now because anything could really happen when there's news going on. But yeah, let me go back to US 30. CT said he was looking at the K2. Hey CT, were you looking at the 10-minute? He was saying a buy sigma. Or yeah, I think he might be looking at him. See 6 o'clock. Oh no, this is in rewind. Okay, no, that makes sense now. So CT said a buy signal might be coming soon. And it looks like it. We did get a strong bullish candle right here. So
Hey, Shawn.
yeah, what's up?
Bro, look at gold acting up right now.
Gold?
Bro, gold is acting up. It shot up like oh my lord, like 200 pips in 10 minutes or 20 minutes.
Oh shit. Yeah, I forgot who was in a gold buy earlier. I analyzed this for someone.
Bro, I'm about to scalp. I'm just playing. Psych. This is crazy.
Bro, look, if you took that buy signal from earlier,
Oh my god.
it's like 5,000. Yeah, well over 5,000 pips. bro. And then the trend meter, if you use the original strategy, bro, you can make it like literally could have hit all these right here.
Bro, you
That's
could have passed FTMO with one trade.
for real.
Man, no drawdown too. That's
Yes. Yo, I think we should
that's
probably
actually selling.
yeah, I think I'm gonna start looking back
Oh my.
at the original strategy.
Yeah, I was thinking that too.
Because we haven't used it for a while, but the reason for that's because price just hasn't been trending, but it looks like it's starting to well, I mean it's kind of hard for you to catch a good one. So like right here would have been good.
Oh my lord. This is crazy.
Yeah, I think I might look back at the old strategy, see if there's any
Which one? A 30-minute one?
yeah.
Oh my god, this is crazy.
Let's see.
It's retracing hard right now.
Yeah, yeah, like this right here. It's right here too. Yeah, because I mean the strategy still works. It's just about really applying it.
This,
Yeah. It's yeah, the hardest part is just finding overall trends. These overall trends seem like impossible to find. I'll have it set to intraday. Yeah, it's cool. Hey guys, give me a second. I'm gonna go get some water real quick. Be right back.
wow. Oh, it's wild. Right.
All right, I'm back. Yeah, man, I had to get a fucking energy drink, bro. I was falling asleep for a second. All right.
Drink that one energy drink. I forgot what's the name of it again. What's that? The Bangs.
Oh yeah, someone drinking right now, bro. That's just bomb.
Man, the blue one is my favorite one.
Yeah, I like the green one and the blue one. Actually, I'm drinking Rain. You ever try Rain before?
Oh yeah, I mean, well, it's cool, but I like the Bangs. It's better.
Yeah. Yeah, I drink both now. I drink the Bangs and
Kevin
the
said buying gold. Kevin gold retraced so like crazy, bro. I wouldn't buy it. Hey, just stay away from gold right now, bro. Please.
Kevin's crazy. Kevin was selling it. Oh man, you're nuts.
He said he's about to buy gold, I think.
Bro, you know, man, don't do it.
Yeah, bro.
You know what happens right when you do that.
I had bought gold with a 0.01 lot size, and it shot down 50 pips in 5 seconds.
It happens every single time. You enter a trade, and then it fucking goes opposite. It's like they're like, oh, I'm gonna fuck with Kevin today. Like, oh, like they're probably in our chat room right now. They're like, oh, see, look at that.
But what's going on?
Aaron, if you took that buy right there, you'd have been fucked because look how much you dropped.
Exactly. I bought with a 0.01, and I'm down like, well, it's different on FTMO, so not really that bad.
Yeah, man, that's too risky.
That's crazy.
But yeah, guys, let me keep going through the questions. If you guys have any other questions, feel free to put them in the Q&A, and then I'll keep going down. CT said tension in South China Sea, U.S. and China. Oh yeah, no, for sure. If that's going on, then definitely gold. I mean, because gold's it's where people park their money.
Bro, it really shot up. Wow.
Yeah. Well, I'm staying away from that. Whenever that happens, that just gives like any opportunity for market makers to manipulate price. Because if people are hopping into gold like that, there's always gonna be a reason why it dropped. Like it's gonna drop, and then there's gonna be some explanation. But in realization, it's like the market makers fucking with you guys. But yeah, this candle is huge. Yep, I'm staying away from that.
I mean, it created a new high too. It's crazy.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna start looking for a indice that's like it's not traded too heavily. I feel like US30 is starting to get, they're starting to fuck around too much with US30.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of our trades are just being, or it's been like all over the place. Like this right here, I'm still shocked that this happened. I don't know how this huge drop happened today.
Yeah, that was random. No news or nothing. It just dropped.
Yeah, it dropped fucking 2,000 pips. I was like, bro, what the hell? I was like, literally not even, I wasn't at my computer. And then I got the alert that stop loss hit. I was like, bro, we were in profit like so far. Oh, there's CT's buy signal, but it's going to be a false buy.
Gold is cracking back up. I should get in right now. I'm scared.
You know what? For US30, I might enter a sell down here, the sell stop, because this would actually be an entry. This would be the Asia entry because Asia opened at 4, I believe, 1,600.
Wow.
So I would probably put a sell stop right here. Yeah, if anyone's trying to enter US30, I mean, it could be a buy, I could be wrong, but if you have a sell stop, it won't fill. So if you put a sell stop right here, then the thing is, if it goes against the buy, then you can catch it as it shoots down. So if it shoots down, your order will get filled and then you get TP. But if it doesn't, you just cancel it. No biggie. So that's one opportunity right there you can probably enter. Or it might shoot up.
I'm in profit now. This
Huh?
is crazy. Gold, bro. This is crazy. It's moving wild right now.
Are you in it?
Yeah, I was just down like 60 pips, bro. Now I'm up like.
Oh shit. Yeah, I'm not even touching that because that thing is just pushing all over the place. Kevin said these market makers are always changing patterns up, so us retail traders always have to switch it up. Yeah, exactly. That's how they get you, Kevin. Like, you know, like if you have a strategy that works, then you should just stick to it. It's like with the K2 strategy. I've been using the same strategy for a long time. And I've used it for so long that I realized that, you know, it does work over time. But when the market's getting messed with, you know, it just happens. There's nothing you can really do to prevent that from screwing up your trades. But if we get a buy signal here, this might be a pivot entry. I don't know. But yeah, Kevin, definitely. That's why a lot of traders fail, because a lot of traders, they'll go from strategy to strategy when they think their strategy stops working. And then they keep getting stuck in the cycle. Like they'll literally trade they'll trade their strategy and then it stops working. They move to another strategy that stops working, and they're literally like in an endless circle. But the thing with the K2 is that all of our strategies are pretty much the same. They're just different entries, like different entry points. So I mean, they're all based on trend. They're all based on momentum. So they're all kind of the same. Like, so like this one right here. See, if you look at this right here, price came up, came down, rejected, and then we got a buy signal. So this would be a pivot entry. While at the same time, this is an intraday, this is a original K2 strategy entry right here, because we had a buy signal and the trend meter was green. And then maybe let me see. And then again right here. So same situation. This is actually the same entry for 3 different K2 strategies. So if you're using the zone trading strategy, this would be a buy right here, right? Because price broke this zone right here. So I'll just draw a little zone. So price broke this zone right here, and then you take this buy right here. So that's a valid buy for the K2 zone strategy. And then like I mentioned earlier, this is a K2 pivot entry right here, same candle. And then again, for the original intraday strategy, this is an entry right here because it's a buy signal with a green trend meter. So, you know, if you're using any of the K2 strategies, they're all pretty much the same in a sense, but they're just different entry points. But all of our trades are like the catalyst for entering the trade is going to be the signal. So a lot of the trades are going to line up the same. But yeah, let me go back to the questions, guys. Kenton said, hey, bro, have a word on silver. Looks really tasty. Let's look at silver real quick. Whoa, yeah, so silver's moving just like gold. Let's see if Ken's still here. Kenton isn't here anymore, but he was asking about silver. Silver moves really similar to gold. It's just a slower moving pair. It's worth a lot less. So, obviously right here, dang, Aaron, if you took all of the pivot entries right here, this would have been crazy, bro. Like came up, came down, rejected, came down, rejected, and then the buy signal right here, straight winner. Another buy signal, straight winner. And I'm thinking about just trading the pivot entries. It's actually a really good entry right there. Mim said, can we take a look at GBP, JPY? Is Mim still here? No, I don't think Mim's here, but we'll look at it anyways. So let's go to GJ real quick. Yeah, like, I think we looked at this earlier. So with GJ, it's stuck within this consolidation zone, or not really consolidation zone, but it's stuck within the zone. So you can see price came up from here, it rejected from there, came down. It's probably gonna reject again off here, bounce back up, reject off there until it breaks outside of this zone. So me personally, I wouldn't take this trade until price breaks above it so we can catch a buy, or if it closes below it so we can take a sell. So it's just not in an area where I would take it just yet. However, I think I'd be more inclined to take a buy because the pivots are below it. So this is going to demonstrate a trend upwards. I haven't said, can you check NZD JPY? Let me check that real quick. I was actually looking for a buy for NZ, Avin. So Avin's looking for a sell. Is there a reason why you're looking for a sell, Avin? It looks like a buy to me because, so if you just look at it, if I zoom out and I take these indicators off, it looks like price consolidated right here, broke above, consolidated, and then it broke above right here. So once it broke above, I'm anticipating it to shoot on upwards. So pretty much like what happened over here. So price was down here and then it shot upwards, consolidated again, and then as it broke above, I'm anticipating it to shoot up again. Let me see if I can find yeah, it doesn't look like there's any resistance anywhere near on the 4 hour. Let me go on the higher time frames. So the next resistance is actually way up here. So like I mentioned earlier, the way that I see that price moves, or the way that the market moves, I see it move from zone to zone. So as you can see right here, this is the actual, the strong resistance up here. This is the strong support. So right here, I'm anticipating price to, consolidate right here, came up, came down, consolidated, came up, came down, consolidated, came up, and then I'm anticipating it to come up at least to this next zone right here. Let's close the SR. So you can see just by looking at it that it's pretty clear that, and you can see it's a bullish candle. So if this closes bullish, I'm anticipating it to push up to here. And then this is going to be the crossroads. So once it reaches this area, there's going to be a ton of people that are anticipating a double top, like right here. So people are going to be entering some sells, right? But the problem with that is if there's too many people entering sells, the market makers might push down a little bit. Or if they decide not to mess with the market, they just might let it play out. So they might let it play out and let it test this support right here before shooting upwards. Or it just might break through it and then skyrocket. It just really depends. So if a lot of people have a bunch of sell limits right here, because some people try to they try to call the top, which would be right here. If there's a bunch of sell limits, what I anticipate the market makers to do is just to shoot right through it. Because if they shoot right through it, people with the sell limits right here are going to get stopped out in this area. But me personally, I don't think it looks like a sell at the moment. It looks like it just might move. It just might consolidate. So it might come up here and then come down and then consolidate sideways before it picks a direction. Pretty much just how it's been moving this whole time. So you can see right here, price came down, consolidated, came up, consolidated, came up. It's probably going to consolidate again. It's doing like a little stare. like a stair pattern. Sideways, step up, sideways, step up, sideways, step up, sideways. But who knows? You know, that might not play out that way. That's just one way to analyze it. I mean, there's a lot of ways that it could play out, but just looking at how price is right now, it could literally go in either direction because it's like right in the middle. This is actually an area where I like to trade. I like to trade right here because I'm anticipating price to come up to this zone right here. This is where I don't like to trade. I don't like to trade here, and I don't like to trade in any of the other zones because you can't be really certain as to where price is going to be going. See, if you trade out in the open right here, so let me turn on the K2 signals. See, if you trade out in the open right here, price rejected off here, take a sell, ride this down here. It's out in the open again right here as a buy. You can ride it up here, a sell right here, ride it down here, a buy right here, ride it up here, a sell right here, ride it down here. And that's what I like to do. I like to trade within these open areas. I trade from down here, trade from up here, trade from down here, because you can see it's the same pattern every single time. Price just goes from zone to zone. I don't like trading right here because I'm not guaranteed that price is going to go up, like reject off here and go upwards. It could just come straight down. But yeah, it looks like it's still going to keep pushing up. You can see right here too, the current candle is a pretty strong bullish candle. If you go on the lower time frames, like the 30-minute, it looks like it's in a pretty strong trend up. So if I turn on the pivots, yeah, that's a very strong trend up. Evan, I'm not sure if you're in profit right now or not, but it looks like you can tell it's in a strong trend because the pivots are angling up and then they're pretty spread out. Like you can see right here, it shot up pretty nice, retraced, shot up pretty nice, retraced, shot up pretty nice. But who knows, you know, it might come down from here. You know, just because it's trending up right now doesn't mean it's going to continue, because the thing is it's been trending up since the 19th. So it might be due for it to swing back down around now. But, you know, well, we can't be for sure until it actually happens. So you might be fine. I mean, I could be wrong, but me personally, I would anticipate this to at least test this zone right here. So that'd be about 30, 40 pips. So depending on how wide your stop loss is, you know, it might be a little risky to be holding on to it. But okay, let me keep going down the questions. Andrew's asking if odd CHF still looking profitable. Let's see, so odd CHF. You know, this is a weird pair. Like odd CHF, this pair barely moves. Like we had this trade that was running from like June 19, but we held this trade for a whole month. Like literally we entered somewhere over here. I think we entered down here. Because I think, Andrew, I think you've been in the group since maybe not last month, but we entered this trade on like the 19th. So like way over here. So we entered this and we literally held it for this long until it hit TP. Like we held it for a whole month. I've never held a trade that long before. I don't even like holding it more than a day. But the thing with odd CHF is that the same situation might happen right here. You can see how it went sideways for like a whole month. That could happen again right here. This could literally go sideways for a whole month before it goes in the direction. So personally, I think it's still looking profitable, but and the reason for that is because price hasn't tested the zone yet. See, what I'm anticipating is price to test the zone, and that's where we have TP1 right here for 24 pips, and then we got TP2 right here for 49 pips. And you can see out here, price broke the zone already. So I'm anticipating it to come up and break that zone again. So if and when it does that, it'll hit our TPs right here, and then you can move your stop loss and profit to get out with some profit, you know, at the very least. But this is a slow moving pair, so don't expect any movement for like the next couple days, unless there's some crazy. Oh, actually, we have news coming. Yeah, that's really weird. It didn't move at all, but there was news at 6:30, and it was retail sales. Let me refresh this. Huh. So I don't know if it was good or bad news, but actually looks like it was. Yeah, I don't know if that's good or bad. It's 2.4%, but price didn't even move. So I don't know how legit was the news or like how important was it. But you would expect it to be somewhat strong. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I would have expected it to move it a little bit because odd USD news, I mean not odd USD, just odd news is it's usually pretty effective. I mean, it usually affects things pretty heavily, but it looks like it didn't. So yeah, I would just hang on to odd CHF. The reason why I think it's going to go up too is because the most recent signal is a buy signal, and it hasn't turned into a sell signal yet. So the momentum is still pushing upwards. So I think you should be good until at least TP1. So I would just hang on to it. Meanwhile, let's see. Anonymous attendees asking, NAS signals coming soon. Probably not from me. Maybe from other people in the group. If anonymous attendee, if you're in the premium, there's a lot of people here that share different trades. It's not just me. But me personally, I only trade US 30. But now that US 30 has been moving a little weird, I might look into other indices. But I mean, it wouldn't make a huge difference because NASDAQ is still like a highly traded indice. So, sorry, I was just looking at it right now. I was going to see if there was an entry. So this would be a valid pivot entry right here. But the thing is, my problem is that I don't trade NAS, so I don't know what's a good stop loss. Like, I don't know if this is too tight right here for 328 pips, or if it's too tight, or if it's too wide, or if this is too wide, because this would be the previous swing. So the previous swing should probably be somewhere around there. So this would be the entry if you wanted to enter like a sell stop for NASDAQ. But yeah, me personally, I don't trade NASDAQ, so I can't really say what's a good stop loss, what's a good TP. But if I was applying the pivot strategy, this would be my entry right here. So if you want to enter this could be a decent sell stop. And the good thing with the sell stop is that if it doesn't fill or doesn't trigger, you can just cancel it. And if it does fill, then you can just write it down. So it's like a win-win for you. But yeah, if I could study it more and I could, figure out, the basic understanding of NASDAQ. Well, I know how NASDAQ moves, obviously, but I don't know how to calculate pips and stuff like that because I don't trade it. So I wouldn't know where to put stop loss and TP. But once I figure that out, maybe I can start making calls. But it's probably not going to happen anytime soon. Or if it does, it's going to be they're going to be unofficial calls. Let's see if we got anything else here. So we got one more with Andrew. Andrew's asking sell stop for gold at 1843. Oh man, Andrew's trying to hop in on that gold too. Aaron, you still in it? Let's see. I don't think Aaron's available right now. So let's see gold. Andrew said gold at 1843. Dang, he's trying to catch that come down, huh? I think this might be too close, Andrew. I mean, it's fine because it's like about 2,000 pips, or no, it's about 1,300 pips away. It's fine because the distance isn't that far, but the problem is it's still above the pivots right here. So I would personally put it at the pivots right here or somewhere around this area, because the thing is, if you have yours right here, what could happen, and what normally does happen, is price will come down and fill your sell stop right here, and then it'll probably test. Let me see. It'll probably test one of the pivots, like pivot 1, pivot 2, pivot 3, and then that's where it leaves open the question. It's the question whether it's going to correct back upwards or if it's going to reverse. And the thing is, with the trades that I take, I like to be at least like 75 to like 85% sure that I know where price is going. I don't really like to speculate and and hope that price is going to go in that direction. And that's why I don't take the only time I take trades is when we get a K2 signal, because I want that extra confirmation. And then I tie that in with other requirements as well. So if I'm looking at the K2 signal, I'm going to tie that with the pivot. So I'm going to make sure that price is trending upwards. On top of that, I might tie it with the trend meter down here. If it's green, then that's another plus for me. And then if there's no zones that are nearby, that's another plus for me too, because that gives me free range for price to shoot as far as it wants to. So there's a lot of different things that you can apply when determining the trade. But right here, since you have a sell stop, this doesn't really give me assurance that price is actually going to come down. You're basically just speculating that price is going to come down, because you're kind of going against the grain in so many ways, because the overall trend on 4 different time frames. So right here on the trend meter, if you guys are familiar with it or not, the trend meter, you can set the time frames for the overall trend. So I want the trend to be I want the trend meter to change colors when it's trending in the same direction on the 30-minute, 1 hour, 2 hour, and 4 hour. So right here it's green. So on those 4 time frames, price is trending upwards. Plus, if you look at the pivots, this is going to give you the shorter time frame. I mean, the shorter end of it for the specific time frame. So if I'm on the 4 hour, it's going to give you the exponential time frame for the 4 hour chart. So right here, price is trending upwards. So it's trending up on pivots. It's trending up on the trend meter. I wouldn't go against the trend because the odds are price is probably going to continue upwards. And you don't want to get caught in this trade. So if it happens to come down a little bit and triggers your sell stop and then shoots back up, you're going to be screwed. So the only reason I would take a sell is if I got a sell signal. But even then, I probably still wouldn't take it just because the trend up is so strong. So if you are looking to enter that trade for a sell, I'd be careful, and just don't get caught in on the wrong side. CT said I'm out of US 30 with 40 bucks. Let's go to US 30 again real quick. How'd you get into that? CT, you didn't wait for the buy signal? You're just scalping through? Oh, you were in the buy. Never mind, I remember. So CT sent me his chart earlier. Yeah, he sent me his see if I can pull it up here. Let me see. I'm gonna go to CT's. Copy this link.
Shawn?
Yo, what's up, Aaron?
Yo, bro, I had sniped the mess out of gold, bro. Shit, man, this is crazy.
Yeah, we do.
Bro, I had just bought it, bro. So hopefully it keeps going up. I'm gonna have to go for a walk real fast. I'm up like 10 pips in profit. I had used the 3.0.
3.0?
Yeah, bro. I had sniped it, no drawdown, bro. Hey, stop loss. Hey, my stop loss already at the entry, so hey, YOLO.
For real.
I'm scared to even look at it right now, bro. I might just close it. The gold is fun.
That's way too risky, bro. I'm not messing with that.
Oh damn, 20 pips, bro. Oh yeah, we on. Yeah, let's go. Perfect, bro. I'm happy as hell right now, bro. I should have held it.
I mean, profit is a profit, bro. I get out if you could.
That made 600 in like in bro. I promise like in 4 minutes. Gold is crazy right now. Bro, I should have held. I could have. Wow. I should have held.
Yeah, it's still shooting up.
Yeah,
Andrew was thinking about putting a sell stop right here, but I was telling him that it's kind of too risky.
I think I might enter right now just for a quick little scalp, so I can at least get to 49,000 again.
For a buy or for a sell?
I'm just for another buy. Just scalp real fast. I don't know. It's coming back down again. I don't know. What you think, bro?
I don't know, bro. It's fucking risky.
It's scary right now, huh?
Let me see. Yeah, no, I wouldn't. I mean, personally, I wouldn't. That's bro. This is crazy. Look at this movement.
I know, Mo. This is
This thing shot up in like 15 minutes, like 3,000 or 2,300 pips. That's crazy.
the market is moving again.
Yeah, man. Not messing with that.
Hey, we're gonna fall asleep, then wake up. Gold is gonna be at like 1900.
It's gonna be on the moon. Yeah, I was looking at CT's trade because he was in US 30 for this one right here. He said he got out $40. So he's probably just somewhere above
Hey, profit is profit.
I know that's what I'm saying. I'm like, man, I lost a lot today on that one.
Yeah, man, US 30's been acting up lately.
Yeah, it hasn't been the same. This COVID stuff's pissed me off, bro. It's all good. But yeah, guys, it looks like we're all done with the questions. I don't know if anyone has any other questions. I'll hang around for a few more minutes. But if we don't have any other questions, I'll just, I'll get off, but I'll be on trading. I'll be on Telegram if you guys have anything else you want me to look at. I still need to finish the back test for US 30. So this is the back test that I have right now. You can see right here that there's a huge difference I mean, it's not a huge difference, but it's a pretty big difference from January until March. The reason why there was a lot of, like, I don't understand how we even took all these trades because there was news literally every day. But I think once I get into May, it kind of smoothed out a little bit. There was less news, and then June as well. But in March, this was when, I mean, I'm surprised we had this many wins during March because this is when COVID got crazy. I mean, not all the sessions did well. So like Asia session, this was actually pretty bad. But March obviously was because of COVID. But London session was like amazing. So I don't know. I'll have to keep backtesting it some more to see how it works. Obviously January wasn't good because that was the new year. But I'll just have to keep doing some more tests on it, and then maybe add a couple more other columns with specific information to better our odds. But yeah, guys, it doesn't look like we have any more questions. So if you guys have any other questions, feel free to reach out to me on Telegram. I'll be available. So yeah, otherwise, I'm still going to be looking for trades because I need to make it for that US 30 earlier. I might even take a sell here to catch this. But yeah, guys, if I end up taking this, I'll let you guys know. Otherwise, I'll be active in the chat. So I'll talk to you guys later. I'll have this on YouTube, and then I'll share it with the group once it's done processing. But yeah, guys, it was a good live trading room. If this is your first time here, we have this every Tuesday and Thursday at 5 p.m. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to join the webinar, and then I can answer any question that you guys have. Otherwise, I'll talk to you guys later. All right, guys, see you in a little bit.